I cannot believe I'm about to put this out. There's been worse. I've seen worse. So it's not what I do when I like someone or when we are talking. It's what I do after we stop talking. I will leave you alone. If you don't want me in your life, I don't need to be there. But in my head, when we stop talking, I will take things that you like, people you like, things like that, and I will be like, they're going to see me. And by that, I mean the last guy I was talking to, we stopped talking, and I got in with his favorite clothing company. And I was talking to the photographer. I was getting free stuff. I was going to take photos for them, all this stuff. So it's really subtle because then they'll be clicking through their favorite page and they're going to be like, hey, is that you? And I'm like, oh my God.
Guys, listen. There are levels to this attention whoring shit, guys. There are super levels to this attention whoring shit, guys. And notice she said she's seen worse. She said she's seen worse. So it could get worse than this. This is crazy, but it can get worse than this. So guys, there are levels to this, right? And again, this is why we don't go back, bro. This is why we don't go back. These chicks are insane. These chicks are wild. You got to be careful out here. You know, recycling chicks is really not a good idea, especially when chicks will go through this type of trouble just to kind of get your attention all over again. It's weird, man. We got to be careful out here. And here's the thing. This is why you can't be influenced, right? As a man, you got to lead. Right? As a man, you cannot be influenced. You have to provide the influence. You have to be in a leadership position. You have to be responsible. You have to have a masculine identity. You have to know who you are, embrace who you are, understand your purpose, and make sure you live your life accordingly. This is a very peculiar and specific example of how powerful a woman's need for attention is, especially when it comes to a man that she's attracted to or a man that it's very hard for her to get over. You understand? And that brings me to what you must do as a man to show responsibility and leadership in these type of situations. Number one, again, you have to have a masculine identity. You have to have knowledge of self. You have to know who you are, embrace who you are, love who you are, understand your purpose, and live life accordingly. This is where your masculine identity comes in. But here's the thing, guys. As you develop your masculine identity, you have to be aware of your value, okay? Be aware of your value. And as such, you have to move with purpose. A lot of times we get into relationships for no reason. A lot of times we let women strong arm us into getting into a relationship when we know we're not trying to get into a relationship. A lot of times we lie to ourselves and we get with women that we know we're not supposed to get with. A lot of times we lie to the women and we tell them we want a relationship when we really don't. And then we have sex with them for a couple of months and then we break up with them. See, the thing is that there's nothing wrong with any of those things as long as you're honest about it. As long as you're honest first to yourself, meaning that you know what you want, you know who you are, and then you let the woman know exactly what you want based on who you are. So she understands what she's getting into. A lot of times what happens is because a man has a lot of value and influence as a man, and then he gets into a relationship with a woman, ill-advised, he starts to realize his dishonesty with himself. And what happens is that's when he decides to break it off with the chick. When the truth is, he should have been honest about the dynamics of the relationship that he really wanted in the first place, or he just should have never got with the chick in the first place. You understand? Because here's the thing. As men, we're very powerful. As men, yes, we are the prize. As men, we are the leaders. Women follow our lead. So we have to be very responsible with a woman's vulnerabilities and insecurities. See, when you lie to yourself and then in turn lie to a woman about the type of relationship you actually want, you get with her, you take her on this emotional high, and then you break up with her. What you're doing is you are traumatizing this woman emotionally. You understand? And this is what causes for you to get, slashed tires and windows broken out and your name drugged through social media, and for women to do this type of stuff and make friends with your associates on social media and try to get your attention and all this other stupidness. You have to be careful. You have to be very careful with a woman's vulnerabilities. I tell you guys all the time that as men, we are natural leaders and women are always following our lead. So the thing is, you have to know exactly what you want from a woman and do your best to be honest. So if the relationship doesn't work out, at least you were honest from the beginning. And it may be hard at the beginning, but it gets easier because at least you were honest and she can respect you. But a lot of times when we are dishonest, especially with ourselves, we end up lying to the woman, giving them a lot of false pretenses, getting their hopes up on finding the one, finding their soulmate. And then when we have to break up, because the truth finally comes to light, then it traumatizes the woman and puts her in this type of position. Look at her face. Look at the screenshot. Does that look like a healthy woman to you? She looks batshit crazy. She's nutty as squirrel shit. We got to be careful, guys. We are very powerful as men. Women are following our lead and we have to be responsible. So like I said, as men, we are leaders. As men, we influence women in a lot of different ways and we are very influential. So we have to be very responsible with that value, very responsible with that influence, and we have to be purposeful in the way we move. So if you decide to be with someone, make it purposeful, make it honest, let her know exactly what your intentions are. As a leader, you should know what you want and know who and why you choose to be with someone. Because truthfully, when you know who you are, when you have a masculine identity, you will attract compatible women. So you won't be going through a whole bunch of situations where you got to break it off with chicks. It's either they're going to follow your program or they're going to fall back because they know they can't be a part of your program. See, truthfully, with a masculine identity, you shouldn't really be the one breaking it off with chicks. A chick should be able to say, oh, well, he's got a certain standard and either I'm going to live up to it or I'm going to fall back because I know I can't live up to it. So if she doesn't work out, it's on her end, not yours, right? Because you knew exactly who you were from the beginning. You were honest from the very beginning. So the choice to leave or stay is up to her. And in that regard, there's no problems. There's none of this crazy dysfunctional attention whoring. There's none of this dragging you through the mud, having resentment, trying to bust out your windows, heartbreak, possible Me Too'd, all that other stuff. Because you're honest, what happens is you can influence the woman, but you have her respect at the end of the situation. So we must also consider our value, our influence, and our leadership, and we must vet these women. We must put them through the vetting process so they understand the consistencies and dynamics of the standards of a relationship that we require from the woman. With a masculine identity, you will have a very strong program on how you run your relationships. And there's different type of relationships and different types of programs, because you can have a fuck buddy program, you can have a monogamous chick program, you can have a program for your roster. It all depends on you. But the bottom line is every chick has to be vetted through honesty, consistency, and purpose based on your masculine identity. So once we do these things, once we understand our masculine identity, we understand the vetting process, and we understand the program that we want to execute with these women, we reduce all the nonsense, confusion, and dysfunction, thereby being more responsible with our leadership, our influence, and our masculine identity. So, guys, again, I could sit here all day and talk about how crazy this chick is, but remember, a woman is always following our lead as men. So when these women turn out crazy, it's because we dropped the ball. It's because we misled them somehow. It's because we didn't have everything set up right to be honest, to be purposeful, and to lead them correctly. You understand? So as men, we have to represent ourselves in the best way to make sure that we can get with a woman, hook up, be honest, be healthy, and leave her better than we found her, so she doesn't end up like this with all this dysfunction and nonsense. All right. So it's your boy, Miles Cunningham. Hope you got something from this video. Hope you're having a great day. Be good to yourself. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.